last lecture we studied the classification of feeds and fodders. These feeds and fodders can be classified into the roughages, concentrates, feed additives, feed supplements and feed additives. Now we study the first, that is the roughages. So the roughages are the normally whole plant materials of high fibrous contents which forms the bulk of ration fed to the animals. So these roughages are the bulky feeds, and the roughages are that feeds which containing more than 18% less digestible material, that is crude fiber, and containing less than 60% total digestible nutrients. And these the roughages are the normally whole plant materials of high fibrous contents. These roughages are again divided into the two that is the succulent oblique or green roughages and second is the dry roughages, depending upon the moisture contents. These succulent roughages containing 60 to 90% moisture and dry roughages containing 10 to 15% moistures. These succulent or green roughages are again divided into the five. Succulent or green roughages are again divided into the five groups. That is, the first is the pasture, first is the pasture. So the pasture is the most convenient and economic succulent feeds for maintaining larger livestock. Young animals rapidly growing on grasses which are rich in proteins, and these pastures are highly palatable. किंवा आपण जनरली आपण पाश्चर म्हणजे काय पाहिजे, पर्टिक्युलरली आपण याला पुरण म्हणतो. जनरली पुरण इज द फर्स्ट इज द पाश्चर इज द मोस्ट कन्व्हिनियंट अँड द इकॉनॉमिक फॉर मेंटेनिंग द लार्जर लाइवस्टॉक. सेकंड, cultivated fodder crops. Second is the cultivated fodder crops. So cultivated fodder crops, in the absence of sufficient grazing, जर समजा आपल्याला चारायला सुद्धा अवघड असतं म्हणतो आपण particularly, so in the absence of sufficient grazing, the importance of growing fodder crops to to provide feed economically for production of milk for draught animals. Different fodders are cultivated for the feeding of the draught animals. These are again classified into the two leguminous and non-leguminous fodders. So the cultivated in the absence of the sufficient grazing for maintenance for the production of meats, these fodders are cultivated, and these cultivated fodders are again classified into the two, the leguminous and the non-leguminous. Among leguminous fodder crops, these are the leguminous. Example, cowpea, cluster bean, lucerne and berseem. These are the leguminous fodder crops which are cultivated for feeding of the animals. Among the non-leguminous fodder crops, jawar. Among the non-leguminous fodder crops, jawar, maize, oats, bajra. So these are the non-leguminous fodder crops are cultivated. So among the leguminous and the non-leguminous fodder crops, these leguminous crops, they are common: the cowpea, the cluster bean, lucerne and the berseem are the most common leguminous fodders which are rich sources of crude proteins, minerals and especially the calcium. Among the non-leguminous fodder crops, the jawar, maize, oats, bajra and Sudan grasses are the most common non-leguminous crops. Among these, maize, is the most important non-leguminous crops which are rich in nutrients. This maize is having 1% DCP. The maize is having 1% DCP and about the 70% TDN. So the DCP is the digestible crude proteins and the TDNs is the total digestible nutrients. So the cultivated fodder crops, so in the absence of the sufficient grazing, different crops are cultivated for the feeding of the animals. These cultivated fodder crops are again classified into two, the leguminous and the non-leguminous crops. The third classifications: first is the pasture, second is the cultivated fodder crops, third is tree leaves. So it is the succulent trapezus containing 60 to 90% moisture. Pasture, second cultivated fodder crops, Third, tree leaves. So tree leaves, the utilizations of tree leaves for feeding to livestock is not common. So the tree leaves are not used for feeding common purpose to the animals. They are however used for feeding of sheep and goat and are sometimes fed to the cattle during the period of fodder crisis. So these tree leaves are commonly used feeding purpose only in the sheep and goat, and sometimes these are fed to the cattle only during the fodder crisis periods. In the early stages of their tree leaves, their growth leaves contain fairly high amount of crude proteins and a comparatively low percentage of crude fibers at the early age. As maturity progresses, there is the gradual decrease in protein contents which increasing in crude fibers. The tree leaves and shrubs are generally rich in calcium but poor in phosphorus. Leafy fodders of Zarberry, Peepal, Babool, bed species of trees and shrubs are suitable for use as a maintenance rations for livestock. Particularly, so the different types of the tree leaves are used. That is a Zarberry, Peepal, Babool, and the particularly bell species are used for the feeding. So the third is the tree leaves. So these tree leaves is the only in India. Tree leaves are generally used for the feeding of goat and sheep purpose. So first is the pasture, second cultivated fodder crops, third tree leaves, and fourth root crops. So the root crops like टर्निप म्हणजे आपण मराठी आपण इथं रताळी, स्वेस, carrot, mangold, fodder beets are used extensively in UK and other European countries for feeding during the scarcity in the fodder process. Particularly, the main characteristics of the root crops are their high moisture contents. These root crops containing about 75 to 90% moisture. So these root crops having the high moisture contents. These root crops having 75 to 92% is the moisture contents and containing relatively low crude fibers. If the crude fiber contents of the root crops is only the 5 to 11%. So different with the root crops. The importance of root crops in southern India is tapioca, which is grown extensively in Kerala. The tubers is used industrially as a source of starch. So the fourth is the root crops, is the turnips, spinach, carrot, fodder wheat. The different is the root crops which are used as a feeding purpose during the period of scarcity. And only the importance of it is these root crops containing high moisture contents, that is about 75 to 92% moisture, and containing relatively low percentage of the proteins, that is the only 5 to 11%. And the fifth is the silage. So what is the silage? What is meant by silage? So the silage is the green material or green crops produced by controlled fermentation of green fodder crops by reducing the high moisture contents. Normally, silage is the green fodder crops prepared by the controlled fermentation, by the controlled anaerobic fermentations. The green fodder is harvested. How the silage is prepared? Firstly, the green fodders are harvested when the moisture content is 65 to 70%. Generally, the crops which are in seed, when the ears starts coming and grains start approaching milky stage, fresh fodder is packed in the silo. Silo is the container. Next, in detail, we can study the silage prepared method. The fresh fodder is packed in the silo and allowed to ferment under anaerobic conditions without oxygen. The process of conserving green fodder is called insealing. The important fodder crops which are used for silage making are maize, oat and jawar or etc. The aim of silage making is to supply the green fodder at a uniform rate throughout the years. So the silage is the green material or green fodder preserved under complete anaerobic conditions. And in the different for generally का आपण silage म्हणजे उद्देश समजा आपण म्हणतो आपल्याला एनिमल्स साठी 12 महिने आपल्याला हिरवा चारा आपण सप्लाय करणे. पर्टिक्युलर 12 महिने का आपण इंडियामध्ये बघतो आपण भारतामध्ये तर 3 ऋतू उन्हाळा, पावसाळा आणि हिवाळा. तर पावसाळ्यामध्ये आणि हिवाळ्यामध्ये आपल्याकडे ग्रीन जास्त प्रमाणात अवेलेबल असल्यामुळे आपण पर्टिक्युलरली हे ग्रीन्स आपण उन्हाळ्यात आपण कमतरता सुद्धा 12 महिने आपल्याला हे एनिमल आपण ग्रीन फॉडर आपण सप्लाय करू सुद्धा दिस सायलेज आपलं ग्रीन फॉडर आपण प्रिझर्व करतो आपण अंडर anaerobic conditions. But in the silo, so the different fodders of the maize, oat and jawar are generally used for the feeding of preparations of silage. So the silage is also prepared from the grasses. Silage आपण grasses को सुद्धा आपण बनवू शकतो. So these are the refuges. Refuges means that these are the bulky weeds and containing the more than 80% wood fibers and less than 60% is the total digestible nutrients. So the repages having the less percent of the total digestible nutrients. These repages are again classified into the two, depends upon the moisture contents, that is the succulent or green repages, and second is the dry repages. So the succulent repages containing 60 to 90% moisture and dry repages containing either 10 to 15% of the moisture. For the convenience of the succulent or green repages, these are again classified into the five. The first is the pasture. Particularly, so for maintaining the larger livestock is the most convenient and economic fodders. Second, cultivated fodder crops. Cultivated in the absence of the sufficient grazing, different crops are cultivated for feeding of the animals. Third, there is the tree leaves. So in India, the implications of tree leaves is common in feeding of goat and sheep. These tree leaves are only feeds in the sometimes the feeds are the cattle during the scarcity. Different tree leaves are used for the feedings. Next is the root crops. So the different root crops is also used for the feeding of livestock during the scarcity. So different root crops, these root crops containing higher moisture contents and relatively low protein contents. And the fifth is the silage. Next is the dry repages. So the dry repages is containing 10 to 15% moisture. Dry repages again classified into the two, the hay and straw, depending upon the nutritive value and method of preparations. So the first is the hay. The method of conserving green fodder, green crops is that of hay making. Generally, आपण हिरवा आणि आपण ड्राय मध्ये वाळलेला चारा particular. So the hay, a method of conserving green crops is that of hay making. The aim of the hay making, the particularly उद्देश काय आपण the aim of the hay making is reduce the moisture contents. Particularly the green crops, the aim of the hay making is to reduce the moisture contents of green crops up to 15 to 20%. In the hay makings, the moisture content is reduced to 15 to 20% to inhibit the action of plant and microbial enzymes. Thus, green crops in a mature stage is preserved for long time. Properly prepared hay is rich in carotene and vitamin D. So there is the rich hay is containing the carotene and vitamin D. So the carotene, what is carotene? So the carotene is the yellowish substance which are present in the all green leafy plants, and the carotene is the precursor of the vitamin A. Carotene is the good prepared hay containing the rich in the carotene and vitamin D. Hay is prepared for plants having thin stems. So the hay is only prepared that plants having the thin stem, having the thin stems, and then having the larger the leaves particularly. So the this hay is prepared in the leaves and these plants crops having the thin stems. The most suitable crop for hay making is lucerne, particularly. So different is the lucerne. किंवा आपण मराठीमध्ये आपण तिथं मूळ घास म्हणून पर्टिक्युलरली आपण तिथं lucerne, berseem and cowpea. So the berseem and the cowpea is also used for the hay making purpose. So that the hay making, only the aim of the hay making is to reduce the moisture contents of the from to 15 to 20% to inhibit the actions of the plant and the microbial enzymes. This is the proper good prepared hay containing good source of the carotene and vitamin D, and the hay should be prepared having that crops having the thin stems, and the lucerne is the most suitable for the hay making. The next is the straw. The straws are the plant residue including stems and leaves after removal of the seeds or grain after maturity. So what is the difference आपण particularly हे आणि आपल्याला इथे हे जनरली आपण मराठी आपण त्याला आपण तो आपल्याला इथं कडबा म्हणतो, आपण तिला आपण जवार कडबा म्हणतो. आपण इथं the straw is prepared having the thick stem. Here that is the thin stem particular. So the straw are the plant residue including stems and leaves after removal of grains or seeds after maturity. Of all feeding stuffs of these, the straws are the poorest proteins and have the largest percentage of the crude fibers. So in the straws, these are having the poorest protein. So the protein content in the straw is very poor, and these straws is having the larger highest percentage of the crude fiber, particularly crude fibers. They are these the straws are comparatively poor in phosphorus, in available calcium, and also in trace elements, but the straws are rich in silica. The DCP contents of the straws is DCP is the digestible food protein. Is the DCP content is the practically nil. So the protein content is the very poorest. So DCP is the digestible protein content is the nil. And while the rate of the TDN is about the 40%. Is the total digestible nutrients is about the 40% is the straws. In Western countries, straws are neither fed to livestock but usually used as bedding. Particularly in the Western countries, these straws are not feeding to the livestock. The straws are only used for the bedding purpose. So we study the first and the refuges. Refuges means that more than 18% crude fibers and less than 60% lignans. Refuges are classified into two. There is the green refuges or succulent, and second is the dry refuges depending upon the moisture contents. These succulent refuges are classified into five: pasture, cultivated fodder crops, tree leaves, root crops, and the silage. Dry refuges are again classified into the two depending upon the nutritive value and method of preparations, that is the hay and the straw. So we compared it with the first, that is the refuges. Next lecture we start with the second classification, the concentrates. Thank you.